Hello, welcome back to Jesse's Vintage Garage. Since we got the rocker box stuff all done here, and now we're ready to move on to doing the valve train stuff. This is kind of how the layout goes. Parts books are really helpful on showing that stuff if you aren't familiar, unless you've taken it apart before and you can remember how it went back together. Perfect. But anyway, we're going to start working on the valve train on this engine, so we're going to get right to work on this. So let's get going. Okay, we're getting set up to do the push rods now. So we talked to the owner, and we feel that these push rod tubes don't look pretty enough for what we're doing here. They would work, just they got some rough spots here and there on them. It don't matter about that one, because that one's hidden totally. But these are exposed.
Yeah, there it is.
And we don't want that. And
we got several of them.
The chance of getting that in the right spot, we can make that work out. Have the shiny nice spot up front, but this one has it all over it. And
whatever it is.
This is what came with the motor, and we're short one of these special washers that like sit up against the spring here and protects the O-ring, which we have set out right here. All the O-rings. It protects the O-ring from getting cut up. So we can't have that. We gotta have all of them. These covers are pretty good, but he's gonna end up getting a whole new set of this stuff. So that's gonna be great. It's gonna look awesome on there now. We have all the O-rings we need. He had these push rods. Probably not going to run these, but these are a nice steel push rod. They're adjustable, but this is like a standard one. And we can't put these in the way we have been building this because we thought he had Quickies sitting here, and he doesn't. And Quickies, we talked about them before, I think, maybe not. They're nicknamed that because they're a special push rod.
Yeah, this part here is way up here, and it has a long, thin rod that screws up into the push rod, way up in. So it slips right into it goes up in here and slips right in, and then you turn the rod clear down and set the lifter. These rods, the rod doesn't turn up into the push rod. It has the threaded part on the push rod, so all you're doing is making the push rod longer by turning this piece out. And to be honest with you, so you know, you can't even come close. There.
And it's not because these look taller than normal ones, but because they're not really much taller than normal ones, but just machined differently through here.
I gotta find the hole here. There it is. It's right here.
But yeah.
Look how long. It's too long.
So to use these, we have to put these in before we put the rocker boxes down.
That means the rocker arm has to come out one at a time and put this down in there.
So he's going to get a set of the ones we need, the Quickie ones, so we can eliminate the extra hour or so that we're going to be putting into taking the heads back off. But
well, he don't want these anyway, because if he wants to do some work to it later, it requires take the gas tank off. You got to take all the tops of the rocker boxes off. You got to pull the rockers.
Yeah, because that's what the cam change procedure would be. You would typically do it in the motorcycle. You would have to take the heads off.
No, not the heads. Just
the rocker box is off because you got to get the push rods up because they're holding these down. At the Harley shop when I worked there, what we would do to save labor and time for the customer, we would cut the push rods, pull out the solid push rods, non-adjustable ones, I should say, and we would hook these with our special tool, which we're gonna have to do here with this one because we're gonna put oil in here. I think we forgot to do that, and we hook these. That holds the lifters up, right? Then you take the cam cover off. Then you can pull the cam out. Switch the cam out because this has got the EV27 in it, which is a good cam. It's made for baggers mostly, low-end torque. And he's going to end up finding out that he's going to want a high-end horsepower engine because this is how this is set up. Then you'd put the adjustable Quickies in or Screaming Eagle push rods in, and you would be able to adjust them. And then you would eliminate almost an hour or two of just tearing the stuff off the top. So that's, in the short term, that's how they would go.
Otherwise, if you use these, it's just like, you might as well use the original push rods that aren't adjustable. It'd save you even more time because with these, you have to do the same thing as the originals, except you have to adjust them.
Then why do that? When
so there's no point to these.
Why do that when we can put the standard stock ones in and put it down and you're done?
Yes, yes, yes. But we don't have those,
so we're gonna show this tool now. We're gonna lock these up.
Just a little piece. It's a piece that's ground down to a point at each, bent straight. It's an old clip, is all it is.
Yeah, we talked about this before, I think, earlier in this video. So
you hook it down in here. There it is.
Let's hook it into the two little grooves and where the ring keepers are at. Maybe I can see it.
There, I got it.
Got it installed there. Then I can look down in there with this and see if I can see it where it's hooked. Yeah, right between the.
You have to turn the keepers to where the gap is in the keepers. See.
Yeah, you just pull out. You're done.
Now you can turn this and look at it at a better angle. If you want
sure.
to.
Yep, you can see it there. All right, we're gonna put oil down in there, and we're gonna lube that cam.
Lube the cam.
We did not lube that. It looks like. Then while we're doing that, we'll open this back up, and we'll make sure there's oil in here so it has instant oil. We'll use our special tool on that again. I got it set up on this. And we're just going to put some more 2050 down there at the bottom of the.
Yeah, we want the gears to catch oil as soon as this first starts. We want this to start splashing oil around right away.
There we go. Yep, looks pretty good. I'll pour some oil down there.
I want to roll it first. Like I said, I'd rather have too much of it. This stuff dissolves in oil, so it is not going to hurt anything at all.
Yeah, it just blends in with the oil anyway.
Yes, but it sticks and it stays and it won't run off. If I just pour oil on this, and let's say this motor sat for like 3 months, all that oil would run off and run away. This won't. This will just stay there. Nice and wet. Yeah.
All right.
Now we're going to pour some regular oil down in there. I want to put some oil on the back side of that. It's going to run down.
Yeah.
But that's okay.
So be it.
It's going to put it in. It's going to put it on the back side of the oil pump because this comes right out of the pressure side of the pump. So this is going to go down. All I did is I backfilled the gear, the pump, the pressure side of the pump up to here. And the oil goes here before it goes here. So I wanted to make sure that we got enough, and some of it is going to run down. That's normal. And
let me put the filter back
put
in.
That back. Now we're good for that. Now we're going to put the filter back in. Let it just fall down in there.
There we go. Make sure it's clean.
Put the spring in it. Then we're going to put the cover back on, or the plug, or whatever you want to call it. Got to push against that spring to make it work. So.
All right, I feel better about that now. Okay,
Yes.
so then we just got to put some oil in here.
I did that already.
Oh, I didn't get to
You
see
missed
that.
it. Sorry. If you look down in there, there should be oil way down in there.
Oh, yeah, we can see the oil in there.
I put about 2 ounces down in there.
All right, looks good down there.
Now we're good to go. I want to oil this too because I oiled the other rollers.
Right.
Okay. You got to use a swivel on here because unless you put these on ahead of time. But if you're going to do work like this, lots of times you do it with the cylinders on. So you just, you have to do certain things. That's just the way it is.
Yeah, so, yeah, that torque spec for that was 120. I got it reset.
Ready?
Okay, so in the book here, it talks about how the different torque specs. I know I said this before, it's 144 inch-pounds or 9 to 12 foot-pounds. So somewhere in there. Hydraulic lifter guide bolts. And he's getting ready to start torquing here. He's got them all kind of tight. And
I'm just kind of snugging them. Okay.
Yeah, like in this part here, it talks about all the different torques. It says C cylinder head torque sequence, which will be in that section of the chapter, and along with other things like this. That's important because I don't want somebody to just go in there and tighten them all up and not do the proper torquing sequence. Unless you have it memorized, then you could. But for this purpose, and us showing this, we're showing the actual how to figure that all out by going to the chapter, finding the sequence and all that stuff, instead of just rattling off
We're guessing.
the settings. That try not to bore you with all the details, but we want to have as much information as we can for you guys. Well, here we go. The Quickies showed up. These are the actual S&S Quickie push rods. See that? How they pop out on their own, and you can. Anyway, we'll go over how that all works. But this piece comes out. You turn it and you can set it. Otherwise, when you go to take it out, you just push the thing up and pull it right out. They come with instructions. There's your instructions. You just got to do this QR code and then have it and print it off. But if your printer's always out of ink like mine is, you have to go somewhere and print it off somewhere. But it makes it convenient though to actually have instructions because not everybody knows how to do it. And it's actually a few pages. It's not just like...
Because it covers lots of different models. Because S&S Quick, what they did is they put them all together.
Yeah, we're going to go over all the information on the different models because there's specific things you got to do to your push rod tubes and stuff.
This is the last page. I got the page that we're wanting to do 3 and 2.
Yeah, that was the page there. It talks about
this, to put it in a nutshell, you got to identify your motor. And this motor is an 80-inch Evo. And so that falls under the heading of the 80, 89, and 96-inch motors. And the cylinder length is 5.55, which it actually is. But it says if you read it, it tells you that you have to cut this tube down.
Yep.
And ours needs to be 4.875, so that's 4 7/8 of an inch. And it is, overall, it is 5.5 now. So we got to cut it. We got to cut off to 4 7/8. So we got to take off
just over ½ inch.
Yeah, we got to take off 5/8 of an inch.
Yeah.
And now, and the reason that it goes into and tells why you need to do that, because these push rods have a thick piece right here. I don't know if you
we can see that. Yeah.
It's pretty thick, and it just fits. So what they're saying is that if you don't, as the motor runs, you run the risk of this coming in contact. Because these push rods, actually when they go up and down, they move a little, like this. They go like this when it goes a little bit. Because as this moves up and down, the rocker up there goes like this. So the push rod actually moves a little bit. That's why the push rod tube is big. It's because it don't move this much, but it moves a little. And it pivots down here as it goes up and down. So they're saying that you got to cut this off so that when it gets all the way up, what they're wanting is a gap like this, so it'll never come in contact with this.
Never interferes with it.
Never interferes. So we got to cut each one of these off.
So there's a couple ways we can do that. We can use a saw and cut it.
We could use a hacksaw.
We're going to try a tubing cutter because it's aluminum.
So we're going to try one because it'd be less mess.
Yeah.
So we're going to mark them out, and then we're going to cut one off.
And then once we use that tubing cutter, we got to make sure we get our burr out of there if there's
no
any
burr, because sometimes when it cuts, it puts a rolled edge all the way around. So I think we'll have to deburr it. We'll see. Yeah. So we'll try one and see what it does.
At least with this, it's more controlled.
Yes, and it'll be straight.
Yeah, like maybe a saw might cut crooked or whatever. We don't want a hack job on this thing, so just want to kind of have it nice.
Needs to go in just a little bit. Oh, not that much. Nice thing about this, I can tell exactly where it needs to be. There's the 7/8 right there. We're just a shade long yet. Setup is the hardest.
Yeah. This worked out. We'll do to all of them, and we won't have to watch the setup constantly on each one of them, but it'll be the general same thing.
We got it right at 4 7/8 right now. Oh, it's close enough. It's not long. Oh, we got a nice line.
Yeah, looks like it.
It's starting to get close. Gee, I would have figured it would have been off by now. It's got a little ridge inside. So we definitely got to take that out. We'll see how that works. If that doesn't work well, then, well,
We can take it to a grinder or wire wheel too. So
yeah, might be able to just scrape this out of here. Deburring tool. Yeah.
yeah, we'll just clean up a little bit so we don't have any weird stuff going on.
Yeah, we'll blow it out.
All right, well, here's the finished one, the first one, and it turned out really good. Nice and smooth there on top, no sharp edges, no burrs, and no debris left behind. So we're gonna do this to the rest of them and make sure they're all like this, and then put them together here. So let's see what happens here. All right, they're all done. We're ready to go on the engine. It worked out really well. I mean,
They look nice and straight.
they're all like this, all nice and straight, not all hacked up, and no burrs, no debris or anything. Cleaned them out, blew them out, air gun and everything. The owner got a new set of lower push rod tube here, replacements. It's chrome ones from Colony, 9202-12 for 84 and up, big twin evolutions. And because we were short one of them, now we got all four, so we're pretty good now for sure. It could come with O-rings, but we also had O-ring set, so it's not a big deal. But anyway, we're gonna open this up and get ready to put these push rods all in now. With our push rod tube set up now, we're ready to start assembling this. This is kind of how it goes together. This locks the upper part up, and we have this part here has a spring in it, has one of these retainers that goes here, and then there's an O-ring that goes between it,
Little one.
and then it gets cupped by this one, and this has to all go in as a set, with including the push rod inside of it here, because of course it's enclosed, so you'd never be able to get it pushed down inside there if you didn't do it that way. And with these push rods, there's two different lengths here, and you got to remember the difference in length, and you can see it clearly without having to worry about measuring or whatever. But
yeah, they're about a 1/4 inch different. This and this are the outside cylinders.
the farthest travel, or
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
longest distance.
yeah. Okay, we're gonna get ready to put these on here, and we'll show how that happens and go from there. Okay, we got both lifters down. The procedure is to make sure that they're both down, and while the piston's up, right?
Yeah, top dead center.
Top dead center.
What you got to do is you got to roll it over and you watch the lifters go up, and then they start going down. Then one is down, and then the other one will start dropping down. And when they're both down, you're on compression stroke. And so you wait for the piston to be at top dead all the way up. You can use something small to stick in this spark plug hole to find your piston and watch it go up and down and feel it when it gets to the top. Like what I did here. See here.
Yeah, there it is.
Watch this.
Okay.
See, it goes up. Right there is where top dead center.
Okay.
So now we're ready to put the front two lifters in. We can do them both at the same time. And then we're going to roll it over to the next one right away. right now, this lifter will be up, this one will be down. We're on compression stroke, so it's sucking and it's going to squeeze. And when it squeezes, we're on compression. So right now it's on the intake over here. So this one is ready. Actually, it probably would have fired, but it's ready for the push rods. So we need a long one, and we need a short one. So we're going to start. We're going to start with an intake.
The long one, it goes into this one.
Right. We're going to start with an intake because it's behind this one.
Yeah.
So we're going to take one of these short ones. And
oh yeah, we got to put the O-rings in. We got to lube them up with engine oil. I don't have nothing that sitting here.
It says we need to lubricate the O-rings.
All right, so the thicker one here goes into the head, the top, and then there's there's a smaller one that's thinner. That is the junction O-ring in the middle. It goes underneath the ring and stuff. And then the other thin one here is the bottom one. That one's the one that goes into the tappet block or the lifter block on the bottom of the push rod tube. And he just got done lubing them all up, so.
Almost. We don't need a lot. Just need to, give it a taste, evidently. That's what the instructions say. Okay, I got it all in there.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, now we got the short push rod. This has got to go in here. Now we got to find. We got to find the. There it is. Now I want to hold the nut up as I turn. I got to turn this down, okay, so you can see it. I got to turn it way down. Eventually, the nut will catch some threads here, and I won't have to hold it no more.
The actual push rod itself, the threads are engaging into it. And
see, the nut ain't caught yet. There, the nut's held. See there?
Yep.
Okay, now I can just start spinning it down till I find the lifter. These are really long. Once I touch, nuts in my way. Here we're getting it. Okay, now. Okay, so now what we got to do is we got to count rounds. Okay, it takes a 1/4 inch. You take all the play out. Right now I got 0 play. It's just snugged up. Okay, now we got to turn this down 4 rounds. This has one logo right here, lines up with a flat. See that? So I'm going to use that, and I'm going to count how many times this goes around. And then I will have it at wherever it is. There it is. Now, the other thing I want to do is I want to hold these up because
you don't want to have to hold them and try to
I don't want to hold it forever.
There you go, that works.
So I want to hold that right there. Okay. And now we're going to start turning. So 1. Come on, get on there. 2. 3. Right here, 4. Now I'm going to run this up
And lock it.
and lock it. Now I need another 7/16. Gotta have a narrow enough wrench to where it doesn't, this one's too thick.
Yeah, you don't want to cover up the other one. And yeah.
You gotta have a thin wrench here. And we gotta hold this too. Hold that from moving.
Okay.
I mean, the little amount that it might move might be fine. See there?
Yeah, move. Yeah, I'm holding it.
Okay. Okay. Now we gotta wait. You might have to wait up to 20 minutes. Because what we have to wait for is the lifter to bleed down. And once the lifter is bled down, then you can drop that and we can move on to the other. Well, we could actually start moving on to the other one now. But we can't roll it over to the rear until both of these get loose. So we can just move right on to the next one. This goes in there. And this one goes down here. Okay.
You got one on the other end. I didn't see. Oh, yeah, yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, no push rod. Long one.
Now we need a long one.
Now, we'll do this one quick and it'll be the same situation. We'll move, after 20 minutes have gone by, we'll move on to the rear and show that quick and then go from there.
There, found it right away. Okay. I'm gonna hook this.
I like the idea of you starting with the logo in the front. Makes it a no-brainer where to turn it.
Or you can count 24 flats if you
Well,
feel like you want to do that.
No.
Or you can mark one of these flats, but since it had that logo there and it lines up with a flat, well, the other one did real well. But it's still, if it's front and center, that's close enough.
Or you don't even have to count flats as long as you watch the rotation of the logo, I guess.
Right. It doesn't tell you that. It tells you to
just rotate it 4 times.
Yeah, 4 rounds, and it says 24 flats. Okay. I like that front, just like that.
Perfect.
Like that.
Yep. Sweet. All right, we're ready to adjust this now. But you were just saying something about you're surprised that this was like not bleeding down yet?
Yeah. Normally, this would have been bled down already. But since these are gems, we don't have no history on what kind of lifters this is or anything. But there is another set of lifters that is available. They're called HL2T. And if it has that kit in it, what it amounts to is they put a thick spacer inside the hydraulic lifter to limit the travel so that they don't move so much. And that's for high performance. So if this has HL2 lifter spacers in it,
it's acting like it is.
And it's acting like it is. And so what it amounts to is you crank, because unless you tore them apart and drained all the oil out and you put them together dry, then this is the procedure. And I pre-lubed them because I thought that's what I didn't know they were this. So it's got oil in it. So what you got to do then is roll it up to 4 turns like we did with this one. You'll wait 20 minutes so all the oil collapses and everything is down on the spacer and it's collapsed completely. Then it says to slowly turn the push rod loose until you can just start to turn it. Then you loosen it 1 full round and you tighten it up right there. That's how that works. But we won't be able to do that until we can test that with this one in a little while. But we're going to set this one.
We have to set that one, yeah, yep.
We're going to set this one. Or we could wait. We could wait because it's going to be hard to get wrenches on this one.
It will be, yes.
So we could take this one. Actually, we could take this one back out for now. Let's just do that. Let's just spend the time and do one at a time and get it right. We got to loosen this nut back up. You want to hold this just because.
Wow. There we go. Try to stay out of your way too.
Yeah. Okay. Now let go there. Okay. Got to remember where we're at here. Still tight. Still tight. Still tight. Oop. There it is. It's nope, not quite yet. It says loosen. Turn it by fingers. There it is. Okay. Then after that point, we loosen it 1 full turn. Okay. Now we're going to turn it loose 1 full turn. Okay. Then we're going to tighten it. Hold it there. There, look at there. It's already loosening up. So, this has got HL2 in it. So,
now we can move on to the other one.
Now we can move on to the other one. Never guessed it had those. It's important that you hold on to that nut up here because once that falls way down and you get this threaded way up and that bolts way down, it's hard to get the nut back up here. We need to hook that up.
Oh yeah, that's right.
There we go. Now we're going to turn this baby up. Yeah, the nut started finally. Now it's easier to just turn this and turn the nut up a ways. Okay, there we go. Okay. Now we're going to turn this baby 4 turns. One, 2, 3, 4. I'm not going to bother with the tightening of the nut. We're going to wait. Now we got to wait for 20 minutes to make sure all the oil bleeds out. It'll never loosen up. And then we'll have to go through what we did over here.
And then we move on to the other side.
Yes.
Well, now this has been sitting for quite some time. This one's solid yet, and this one is still tight-ish. Even after we backed it up, it's still kind of tight, but it does move around. So there's a good chance that these are probably not S&S HL2Ts. Then these are actually Jim's tappet blocks, but there's a good chance they could have the special lifters.
Yeah, Jim's.
By Jim's.
Yeah, Jim's makes one. They're called what the heck are they called? They're called.
Anyway, they do the kind of the same thing that the S&S does. They have a limiter in it also, but they don't bleed down quite as much as this. They're more for like high performance race only kind of stuff. And the way that this motor was set up when we first picked it up from the guy, it was looking like it was being set up to be a race motor like that.
Could be.
Possibly.
And that might be why the crank was...
So what we need to do now is we're going to pull this just to verify this. We're not going to touch nothing here. We're not going to rotate it or nothing. We're going to leave this one as it is. We're going to pull this rear block back off, and we're going to inspect these lifters because we don't know what they really are offhand.
Yeah, if it's got Jim's, they were called hydro solids. And why we're thinking about taking this back apart is because if they are Jim's hydro solids, their procedure for setting this push rod is empty out all the oil out of them dry, and you put them together and you turn them down to where they come down and they seat with zero clearance, all the way down tight. And just be able to turn it, okay? And then you tighten it up and leave it. That's how it's made.
That sounds like a solid lifter.
Exactly what it basically is. Exactly what it is.
It's just it's got
hydraulics. And then it's got hydraulics behind it pushing it so that if things expand a little, it doesn't click, 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 tap, tap, tap. And so, but now the dilemma is what's in here. Because see, this motor came all apart in bags, and we have no idea these lifters were in this block. And we didn't even think about that. Shame on us. We probably should have. But we were probably thinking that they were stock lifters in here. But oh no, you can tell right now these ain't stock lifters, because otherwise it would do this by now, and it's not. So this is, we got to know if this has got S&S lifters or if it's got Jim lifters. And if there's no way for us to find out, well, maybe these lifters have to go away and we're going to have to get different lifters.
Now, I have a set of original later Evolution tappet blocks with actual stock lifters and stuff. And we'll take this apart and we'll compare it to that and see what we got. Kind of explain some stuff. But Let's go ahead and dig into it and see what these look like.
Yeah, now gyms, if this is gyms, it'll say gyms on it. And look at there they are, gyms.
Yeah.
So I'm glad we took these apart, because that tells me that these are gyms hydrosolids.
Let's see over here.
Hydrosolids.
I'll bring it over here, I guess. This is a stock Harley type of block with lifters. And, I mean...
They would interchange.
This looks like it has a bigger axle than that one does, which is kind of odd.
Yeah, it is kind of odd.
Because usually they have large axles or big axles.
And then that puts more bearings around here. So, which is kind of strange.
So that's a normal hydraulic lifter. There's nothing fancy about it. It just has a hydraulic unit in it. This one here has if this is what it is, it's got the limiter in it. And just like the S&S one, it has an extra spacer inside there, keeping it from doing so much.
They have a ring that looks a lot like this, only a small diameter. It'll fit inside of here. That takes up a little over, I think it's a little over half of the overall travel. Because these lifters have something like 200 and some thousandths of travel, and the S&S HL2T kit or limiter knocks that down to about half. So when you tighten it up and then you back it up one round, that's all you do. That leaves like the thickness of the way I read it is leaves a thickness of a nickel, a regular nickel that you'd have for change, whatever that thickness is. That's what I read. So, and the whole idea about it is so that if you're in real high RPMs and this lifter that's over there, if that would collapse, that has 200 thousandths. Well, it's not sitting at 200 because when you set these 4 rounds down, you run it down to 100 thousandths. Okay, so that's keeping it in the middle of its travel. Well, that 100 thousandths under high RPM, if it collapses completely, for whatever reason, they've been known to possibly happen here and there. There's stories out there of it happening. So when that happens, then you run the risk of a push rod derailing or getting stuck and jamming a valve and then a piston hitting the valve. So it's really, whatever happens, it's not good. So the idea of this, the S&S one and the GYMS one is purely for high RPM, and this one's made for all out hard running. And it's probably fine, but you're gonna, you just gotta, it will not collapse because they're setting it at the bottom of the threshold with, I think, if I read correctly, you run it down to where it's tight and touching and you can just turn it. Then you back the nut off like 5 flats, or I have to look it back up again. And then, so it's very little. It's less than the S&S. They're different settings.
Well, from what you're saying, though, people might be wondering what is the purpose of any of this. Well, this one here, the GYMS one, you would end up having to, it's actually written down in the instructions that you got to adjust the stuff every 1,000 miles.
Yes.
And for a motor that you're going to be running on the street and not wanting to do that much maintenance to it all the time, you don't really want to run them unless you're going to be tearing your motor down all the time because you're racing it.
Because you're a racer.
Yeah.
Yes.
So in hindsight or retrospect, maybe, depending on what word you want to use.
This might not be the lifter he wants. He doesn't even know these lifters are in there. We didn't know these lifters were in there. But he's going to know because we got to get a hold of him and we got to talk about it. If he wants to run these, that's fine. We'll set it up like they're supposed to, and that's the way it'll be.
Yeah, but setting these lifters up under specs for an S&S would be a bad thing.
It's wrong because it would probably, it'd be wrong.
So if anything, if he's going to use these, we have to set them up like
these need to be set up. The GYMS procedure.
Or if he wants to run stock style or, I don't know, lifters are spendy.
Yeah, he either needs to buy a new set or he'll probably decide to run these. I have no idea.
Yeah, either way.
We'll find out.
So we're going to...
But this is where we're at right now.
Yeah, we're going to go and unset this up because this is set up wrong.
Yeah.
All right, so now we're going to work on taking this all apart here. We did talk to the owner on this motor and about the situation with the hydro solids, and we told him about what the benefit and the setbacks would be running those hydro solids, and he decided not to do that because and it's probably a good thing because we'd have to change the cam too, because the EV27, Andrew says that it suggests not running. It says not to run a solid lifter with the EV27 or most all of the EV Evolution series cams. So
let's see here. Yeah, there.
Yeah, so like right here, the new EV hydraulic lifters are capable of 6,000 plus RPM without floating. We're recommending that the solid lifters not be used with any of these cams. Also EV1, 13, 27, 3, 38, 46. Yeah, looks like almost, I don't know how many they make, but there's a bunch of them listed there.
There is some that are solid, capable. And you can run solids with these, but they're just going to make a lot of noise.
And yeah, then like I was saying in a different segment, you got to, every 1,000 miles, you got to come in here and readjust them.
Well, it talks about that here, and we can do that about some of this. It says maintenance for hydrosolids is as follows. New motors, after the first 50 miles, at the time of your first oil change, check and adjustment of the push rods. You should still be able to turn them with your fingers. After 200 miles, readjust if needed and as needed until your motor parts are seated. Then after that, it's a recheck as you would for solid tappets at about 2,000 mile intervals. Yeah. So every 2,000 miles, you're recommended to take it apart and make sure that you can, like this, it says that you're just supposed to be able to just turn it. It's supposed to be tight, and that's what this is. This is tight, just able to turn it. This one, that's too loose. That's easy spin. You might think that that's just turning, but it's not. See, I can even move it. It's right, that's too loose.
And so this hydro solid thing is actually a solid lifter. It's just they call it hydro. Don't get that confused with hydraulic, because hydro just means that they run an oil through it because oil has to go through here.
Yeah, that's how the top rocker, the valve rockers, that's how they lubricate up through the push rods. There's a hole that goes all the way through there, and the push rod pushes oil from pressure. It goes all the way up through here, and they get pressure here when you pull these out. The pressure, this gets pressurized through this hole from the oil pump, and then this hole goes through it. There's a hole inside of there, if you can see down in there. Yeah. See that little slot down there? Okay. And then there's a hole on the other side. See that hole? That's how it gets to this side. And what happens there is, and that's why there's an indent here, and so this all fills up with oil, pressurized, and then it goes through here. Then the pressure goes down through the bottom of this lifter, and it pushes upward. And it squirts oil out this hole, up through the push rod, because the push rods have a hole all the way through it, and you can see through all the way through. And so oil travels up through here, goes into the rocker arms, and pressurizes that. So that's how they oil. So that's part of the hydro solids. It sets like a solid, down solid. There is no bounce or no hydraulic shock lifting up like these lifters.
Right. So if you took
this lifter, right see, now, I can push this. Yeah, I can push this like this. Say, yeah. That's normal. Well, until there's oil in it. These are dry, and because these were never used. These, we should actually put some oil in these. And then it, because after you push it once, then it gets solid because of oil pressure. It holds there. But it still pumps oil up through here because it gets around and there's a hole that goes straight through.
All right, so then the owner of this motor decided to go with these from us here. These are new takeoffs of an Evolution motor, and they've never really been run. So we're going to end up using these. We're going to end up taking the blocks off too and running this style.
He wants to just keep these blocks and these lifters together as a unit. And he might use these in a project later on down the road.
Yeah,
Who knows?
otherwise we could have just took the lifters out, put them in the Jim's blocks, but it's just better this way. And he liked how the black looked with the black heads.
Matches the black head.
It's gonna look
So
kind of
it'll
sharp
look
like
nice.
that. Yeah.
So that's what we're going to do. We're going to tear this back apart, take this out, put both black lifter blocks in it, and then we're going to adjust the valves.
Yeah, we're gonna pretty much start over with the procedure of using hydraulic lifters, S&S Quickies.
Yes.
So, all right, we got the lifters sitting in oil right now. We ended up using this high performance Lucas 2050 engine oil.
Non-synthetic.
Yeah, non-synthetic. It's good for breaking in and stuff like that anyway. So we're gonna let this sit for like about a half hour, and then let the rest. There's be some bubbles popping out over time, and then we're ready to put them in the blocks and put the blocks in. We got the lifter, two lifters out from the oil there, and ready to put it in the block here.
Okay, so got to make sure that these clips, if you look close here, this is like a wire that's got a little bent corner, but it's open here, and it goes all the way around one piece and goes around and bent around there, and it catches in that groove. Okay, so in order for these clips to hold, you got to get it down in here so we can hook here, and that has to be perpendicular when it's sideways to this roller. Okay, so I got to make sure that I don't try and put it in this way, because if I put it in this way, I don't have nothing to hook. It's on the wrong side. So because this hooks on the outsides of these, so this one needs to go in this way, and it needs to go, let's see, where is this?
Is that the right correct one? Front and the rear?
Yeah, it says front right there.
Oh,
we're working on here.
Yep, perfect.
So this is open out there. So this, and I want the oil hole in the center. So now I'm going to push this up in here like that. Okay, now this one. Well, it doesn't matter if the oil hole's center or outside. Don't matter. I need the clip.
That's all recessed area.
It's all going to pressurize.
Yeah.
Okay, so the opening is right there. I see that. See the clip turns and it's cut out. So that has to be this way. There. It has to be this way. The oil hole's going to be out on this one. Or I'd have to turn the clip. And that's not important to me. So okay, I'm going to clean my hands now and put the clip in. So this got a hook here, and this has got a hook there. There, I got it. Okay, now all I got to do is make sure I got the oil hole in the right spot. And we're going to set this baby right down in here. There we go. Just like that. I'll leave the clip in until I have all the screws in place. Now, as you remember, we have the motor all set up to do these. So we won't even mess with this until we're done with this. Well, I could put the lifter block in, but I mean,
There we go. So go ahead and run them in and we'll get the torque wrench set up.
Okay.
There we go. We got the inch-pound torque wrench set up for 120 inch-pounds. That's 10 foot-pounds. The torque setting is 9 to 12 foot-pounds, so this should be good. All right, so onto the rear tappet block. We'll do that real quick, get all this oily stuff out of the way right now.
And this one is. Okay, so now all we got to do is put them in correctly. This one has got the open clips here. That has to go to the outside. Has to go to the outside. Yeah. The open part of the clips are there. It's got to go to the, oops, stay up in there. It's got to go to the outside. There we go. There. Okay. So now all I got to do, dry my fingers off again, and put a clip in. We hook. Slip down here and hook. Now I got them. I could actually lift it with this if I wanted to, but I'll hold it up. Now I got to find the oil holes here, oil holes there. That saves a lot of, oh, which way does it go?
Yeah.
There it goes, just like that. Now we're going to start the bolts wherever they are. Back here, it's kind of tough to get to with this sending unit here. I thought I had it closer than that.
Here we go. Now we can install and set up the push rods.
Yeah.
So with the push rods, we gotta make sure we're doing the inner one first. That's the shorter one, and the outer one is the longer one. And he's preparing the ball right here on this push rod.
So it gets a little assembly lube in it. It's gonna run for a little while before it pressurizes. So it's always a good idea. Now, okay. The thick O-ring goes at the top. All the smaller O-rings go on the lower area. There's a smaller one here. They're actually the same inner diameter, but this one is real thin, if you notice.
Yeah.
This one's kind of thick. This thick one has got to go up in there, otherwise this does not seal right.
Yeah, up under the head, yep.
Yep, so.
Okay.
Okay. Just a minute here, too. I'll put some fresh oil down in here. Okay. find it. There it is.
It's not easy to see, so it's all like feel.
It's all feel. Oops, hold the nut. There, I got the nut started. It's important to get that nut started. Otherwise, it can fall out. Get the ball in the cup. See, here we got play. Now all we're going to do is take this play out. And you feel a slight resistance right there, right there. That's where we start. Okay, I'm going to turn it down 4 turns. Where's my wrenches? Oh, here, right here in front of me. Jeez. Okay. Now I'm going to use the logo, just like I discussed in the first part that we did. One. 2. 3. 4.
Yep.
It doesn't turn yet, but it will. Now we're going to go on, move on to the next one.
Yeah, the front one.
So put some oil on it. Assembly loop. Just because I probably won't have to do this on the bottom, but why not? Okay, I wiped it off, darn it. Didn't mean to touch it. Because I'm sure that socket up inside is dry. And we don't want it to run for who knows how many RPMs until oil gets pressure. It's got to pressurize all the way through here and pressurize the whole rocker arm before the ball really would get lubricated good. So that takes a little while. Okay, so up we go. Try to find that socket hole. There it is. I found it. Put this up. Bolt the nut up. Drop the rod down, turn it. These are kind of fiddly, but after you do a few of them, you get pretty accustomed to how it has to work, or the easiest way to do it. To me, this is the easiest way.
Yeah.
First time I ever did it, I let the nut just stay down at the bottom. Oh boy, that was tough. well, tougher. I mean, it's doable. It's just, it's a long ways down in there. See, now I got nuts started, so I can't fall no more. See, it's way down there. So if that nut goes way down in there, oh, it's fiddly to get it up. And then to get it to just start here, you can barely get your fingers around there. So just keep in mind, hold the nut. Okay, here we go. I don't get no up and down shake. If I do there, I do. Okay, here we go. Start there. One. Two. Three. 4. There it is. There we go. This one bled down real quick. I can turn this one. It's harder than this one, but it is what it is. Ready. We could put the clips in now and just be done here. Oops, everything's oily. Okay. Just like that. I've done it this way for years. There it is. Looks pretty nice.
All right, we're getting ready to move the rear piston. Right now we're at top dead center, hence the line right here.
Front cylinder.
For the front cylinder, yeah. And then if we rotate it.
If we rotate it back, we'll just show you this while we're here. That's top dead center line on a Evo motor. Now if you back it up, there, see that round dot? That's the full advance marking.
Yeah.
So when you set timing, you don't look for the slotted line, you look for the dot. The dot is full advance for timing. So now what we're going to do, we got to go forward. So there's top dead center. Now we got to watch for the intake lifter to drop all the way down into its bore.
Okay.
There you go. You can push that in the center. Don't push hard. Just watch it fall. It should drop down. And as we do that, the piston will start to come up on the rear. Let me know when it's dropping.
Yeah, starting to drop.
We're a long ways away yet.
Yeah.
Still a long ways away. Is it all the way down?
It might be. It's not moving right now.
Let me know if it starts to come up. Our piston's almost up.
That's something happening with the oil.
Okay. Now I want you to come over here. It's all the way down, right?
Yeah.
Yep. Both of them should be down. Yes, they're down in their bores. Okay, come over here. I want you to hold this here. Okay. Don't push hard.
It's going down.
Going up.
Up, yep.
Then it's going down. So, right there.
Yep.
That's top dead center. Okay. So now we're ready. Now we're ready to put the push rods in the back cylinder.
There we go. We got the short push rod getting ready to do the inside one.
There it is. Where now? Okay, I got the nuts started good.
Yeah. Can't see what you're doing, but you gotta have all the room for your hands anyway.
Okay, so now what the instructions calls for here. Oh, this is oily, see, so it likes to. Let's get this hooked up here. It's out of my way. Okay, so what the instructions calls for here, just so in case I didn't talk about it clear enough on the other ones, you just bring, see this, I can move it up and down. I kind of talked about that a little bit ago. There's a cup down there with the ball. So what happens is you turn this until you just, see here, I can move it.
You're turning the part with the ball.
Yep, with the ball here.
Yep.
Just so I come into see, I can move it yet. You just come into contact. Right there it is. Just contacting. Now at that point is where we start our 4 turns. So you gotta hold this.
That's up a spy you want it, otherwise, yeah.
Yep. Well, for me, I want this logo out because that's the easiest for me.
Okay.
Okay, so now we're gonna start turning this 4 turns from this point.
Expanding it.
Yep. 1. 2. 3. 4. Right there.
Now we locked the nut.
Now we locked the nut. And this one got pretty tight. This one must have had more oil in it than the other ones. You gonna hold that?
Let's see if I can hold that for you. Yeah.
You're gonna have to hold towards me a little.
Okay.
Okay. Now we wait. Well, we can put the other one in, but I mean, now we wait before we can turn it over. Whip the nut. And got the nut started. Yep. Okay. There it is. There it is, right there. Okay.
Okay.
You're gonna hold that?
Yeah.
Have it on there first. It'd be beneficial if it's on it. Okay.
I suppose it would be. I didn't know it moved off. Good thing you were seeing. Okay.
Okay, you ready?
Yeah, I am ready now.
Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. You got it?
Yep.
Okay, here we go. There we go.
Yeah, nice to be able to turn it.
This one turned right away. This one doesn't. We might have to revisit that for some reason.
All right, so these lifters have been bleeding down for a little while. We're getting ready to button this up, but I think this is we're gonna come to the end here on this.
This one's bled down. This one's getting closer.
Okay, cool. It's better than it was.
Oh yeah. It just, some lifters just bleed down slower than others.
Yeah.
Just the way it is.
Anyways, hope you enjoyed everything in this video. We're gonna close this part up here and probably move on to something else in this motor. This pretty much completes the motor assembly here. Most of the time we put the rest of the stuff when it's in the bike. And
but there's 3 things he wants me to finish on this motor. He's bringing a Dynatech Dana S ignition dual fire for this. He wants me to put that in. He wants me to put the intake manifold and the clamps on. And he's going to put a Mikuni, I think it's I'm not sure the number of it. I think it's a 42. But anyway, so we're going to do that. And the other thing he wants me to do is, and we got it in the box over there, he wants us to go ahead and put all the alternator in and the plug here, you know, and the outer piece onto this, and then have that all done.
Well, we have the stuff for that. We can probably do that in the next video.
Yeah,
But,
so we'll finish up with all that. We do not have the ignition or the intake manifold yet. Once we get that, we'll do those. And then after that, he's going to come and get the motor.
And yeah, there's like a couple little exhaust pipe pieces he wants to put on there just for display for now. So we'll probably pop him on too, just for looks. But anyway, hope you enjoyed everything in this video, and we'll see you again soon.